What is up, guys? I meant to record before I went to the gym this morning, if I can speak even, but I completely forgot. So I'm going to put in some training clips here now in a second, but we are going to start this vlog off at the end of the day because this isn't so much going to be a vlog so much as an exploration of how I'm setting my goals for the coming months, weeks, whatever, because I think this is something that'll really help a lot of people. So I started college today, so I'm quite tired. Like, you do forget when you work for yourself, and like I'm sitting in my office right now, but you forget that being somewhere and going somewhere and interacting with people is actually a little bit more of an energy drain, especially when you haven't been doing it as much or as frequently, because I pretty much just sit in my office all day. But now, back in college, there was only like 4 or 5 hours of college, actual college today, but they were quite spread out, so I was moving around a lot. So activity is up. Again, we'll get to that because calories, don't know where they're going to be at with the increased activity, but we will get to that in a second. But before we get to the video, enjoy some training clips. So we are over at the whiteboard to give you some more information about all how to set your goals, all that fun stuff. But I'm going to kind of talk you through them here first, and then I'm going to maybe do a little bit of a voiceover at the end of just a picture so you can kind of recap each of these points. So the first one we have down here is identify. So what are your actual goals? And this seems pretty stupid to put up as your initial kind of setting of your goals, but the majority of people aren't actually specific, or they don't actually specify what the goal is. Like, they look at an end point, but they don't even really define that end point. So when you're setting, you're identifying, you're being specific. So it's not I want to lose weight or I want to gain muscle. You're going, I want to lose 2 kilos, 3 kilos. I want to drop from a size 16 to a size 12. Whatever it is, you're specific. It's not, yeah, I'd love to lose weight. Well, how much? Over what time frame? So you have to be very specific in what you're looking to achieve. So what you need to do then is, currently, where are you? Evaluate where you're at. Identify where you actually are starting. If you're going, I want to lose weight, and you have no idea how much you weigh, why are you using weight as your tracking metric then? You have to be specific of not only what your goal is, but what you're looking to achieve over a certain time frame. You have to understand, you need to know where you are actually starting. And I'm not saying you have to go out, if it's body composition you're looking at, I'm not saying you have to go out and get a DEXA scan, get all these body fat measurements, but you have to pick a measurement or a couple of measurements that you can track over time and see them changing, so you can go, okay, well, I started here and I ended here. Like that's basic science, So if you're looking to see an end point, or you're looking to see a process, you need to have a start point, you need to have an end point, so you can see what happened along the way. But also, you need to have that end point. You can't just have an open-ended experiment. It's like, oh, we're just going to throw a few things together and see what happens. Hopefully, well, we might measure something, maybe we won't, So you have to be very specific with that. But then, where do you want to be? So again, like I just said there, what is it you're actually looking to achieve? If it's weight loss, you're using weight as your metric, you have to have a goal weight in mind. Now, I'm not saying it has to be, I want to be 60 kilos bang on, and that someone's going to shoot you if you go to 59 or you go to 61. You set a goal, but it can be, as we'll get to in a second, reevaluated. So you don't have to be perfect from the start. You just need to set some rough kind of goals, guidelines, so you have both a measurement to track and then also an end point to your overall goal. That is the point of having a goal, to have an end point so you can set new goals. The next thing then is setting targets, milestones, and a time frame, okay? And this is something that a lot of people forget to kind of do. Like, you want to set an actual time frame, because a goal without a time frame is simply a dream. You want to go, I want to lose 2 kilos by this date. Then when you set that date, or you set that time frame, you have to kind of think to yourself, is that actually realistic? Like, saying I want to lose 30 kilos in 3 weeks is probably unrealistic, So you have to go, okay, what would be a nice rate of weight loss, if that is your goal, weekly? And we've done like a multitude of articles on the topic, so you'll be able to find out the information on our website. But you need to be specific in setting the targets. If you're going, 5 kilos is the loss that I want to lose. Okay, cool. 5 kilos. We're going to set some milestones now as well. So every single kilo, how many weeks is that going to take me to drop a kilo? Every 2 weeks I want to be dropping a kilo. Okay, perfect. So it's every 2 weeks a kilo. So each milestone, you have 5 milestones, then it's like that should roughly take you 10 weeks along the way. You celebrate those milestones now. Obviously, if it's a weight loss goal, you're not going out and celebrating with food, but you celebrate your victories and then you let them compound into an overall victory, So celebrate the battles and then celebrate the overall winning of the war. Then your time frame has to be both specific to your goals, but then also specific to being realistic with what you are able to achieve. Like, people always look at what we're able to achieve, or what other like body composition specialists or any transformation coaches or anything like that look at what they're able to achieve. But you have to remember, they already have the skills. If you're doing this on your own, you've never done something like this before, you might not be able to achieve the same results in that same time frame. You don't have the tools, or if you do have the tools, you don't know how to use the tools. It's your first time using them. So you have to take that into account. And what we always suggest, even for our clients, is giving yourself a little bit more time than you'll think you'll need to get into the shape that you want to get into. Okay, so always err on the side of caution there. Both physiologically better to not have to diet on really restrictive calories, but then also psychologically better, because you can go, I actually enjoyed that process, and I also learned a lot of valuable tools or valuable things about myself and the overall process along the way. Then the next one we get onto is identifying the habits of your success. Okay, and what I mean by that is you need to identify the habits that, if repeated daily, will get you to the end point you want to be at. Okay, because we are what we repeatedly do. So if you constantly go, I don't know why I'm not losing the weight I thought I should be losing in this, and you look at your daily habits and it's every time 6-7 p.m. you're like, okay, I need that packet of crisps, the biscuits with the tea, so these little tiny habits that you're doing daily do add up. So if you go, what habits can I bring in, or what habits can I break that will allow me to succeed overall in actually achieving my goals? So as I said, this isn't actually a vital step, but at the same time, it is a very vital step, okay? And this is one that I constantly reevaluate with my clients, or with our clients in overall. We're always going, okay, so what went wrong this week? What went great this week? Okay, so these are the things that really help. Like sometimes it can be something as simple as going, let's get 8 hours of sleep this week. You've been getting 7, we've noticed, energy's kind of dropping, you're not as strong in the gym or something. You used to be getting 8 and you were feeling great with that. Let's get that back up to 8 and see how we perform. You go, okay, boom, that was the key to success. Where you notice, okay, it's a cup of tea with the biscuits. We do maybe a habit swap. We go, okay, rather than having the cup of tea, we're going to have some sort of other flavored tea or other flavored drink that will not have that association with the biscuits, and boom, you're back on track now. So you need to identify the habits of your success, and these are the habits that if you repeat them daily, weekly, they will lead you to be successful. Okay, so that's why they're the habits of success. The next thing then is prioritize and execute, because this is one of those ones that people just don't do. They don't prioritize what their goals are, and they don't prioritize what their key habits of success or any of those things. What are the key things that are going to get them to their goal? They don't prioritize those things over the less important things. And overall, they just don't execute, because this is a very common theme where people know all the information. I've read all your articles, guys. I've been following you on social media. I follow all these other fitness people. I have a wealth of information, but I never put it into practice. Okay, that's the most common thing that holds people back from actually achieving their goals, is not actually executing. They aim, but they never pull the trigger. Okay, so you need to be not trigger happy. That's not what we're looking for, but you need to go, there is my focus, there is my goal. I'm going to actually execute the plan this time, and I'm actually going to follow through with it. So prioritize and execute. Next thing we come on to, track, measure, and reevaluate. So like we came to the first point there, you need to be tracking something. What is it? Is it pictures? Is it a certain look you're going for? Is it a certain weight you're going for? Is it a certain dress size you're going for? What is it? What are we actually tracking? Is it health? What health markers are you tracking? Are you even tracking something as simple as your heart rate? Something as simple as your blood pressure? What are you actually tracking? Because I hate, it actually grinds my gears so much when people ask you, is this supplement good for health? I don't know, what's your health like currently? What health markers are you tracking? Or if the one you always get is stuff like, say, our diet soda is bad for you. I know they're not bad for me. They might be bad for you. I don't know. Do you have some sort of inability to handle phenylalanine? It's completely irrelevant unless you're actually tracking some health metrics and you were going, okay, so I noticed I had 2 Coke Zeros per day, and my resting heart rate was increasing. You have to actually be tracking measures of health to make an actual decision on those things. So you need to track something, whatever it is, whatever your goal is, and we'll get into my goals now in a second, but whatever it is, what are you actually tracking? If you're not tracking, you're just guessing. You're going, I think I'm making progress this week. I hope. Measure those goals consistently, or measure those tracking metrics consistently. If it's your weight and you're going, I want to be weighing a certain weight. We don't want to get obsessed with the actual weight on the scales. That's not what we want to get down. But you still need to be tracking the weight, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, daily, whatever it is, you need to actually track it to see if it's actually trending in the right direction. Because the sooner you can change direction and go, okay, so I've noticed I've made these changes, they weren't really working, let's make these other changes, boom, we're back on track. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you can get back on track, rather than waiting 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks and you're going, nothing's really been changing, but I haven't really been tracking, my weight, so I just don't know, If like, ignorance is not bliss when you want to have it, or you have a goal, you need to have actual metrics that you're tracking if you want to succeed, and you need to measure them then you need to reevaluate. Like, I know nobody that gets this right and gets it all right from the very start. You're going to have to reevaluate. Like, you can't foresee, you're like, I want to lose X amount of weight by this date, and then you break your leg. You can't foresee that, Like, I was doing a statistics class today, and they were talking about how statistics, is the future, blah, 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 and it's great for this, but they were saying the thing that annoys statisticians so much is people think, with statistics, you can just predict the future. But that's not what statistics does. It gives you a good prediction, and you're able to use that information, but it's not a guarantee. Like, you can't predict the future. So what makes you think, I've set all these goals, I've set all these targets, I've set all these milestones, but I am rigid in my plan. I am not going to adjust based on how the week and the month and the actual plan is going out. If I notice that the Thursdays that I had planned, the gym session and the 12 hours, the 16 hours of college and work and my food intake, and I've noticed that I just can't do that, but I'm not going to change. Like, that's obviously really ridiculous. You need to make an ever evolving plan of action. That's what we do with our clients, and that's why the majority of people who get success, get good transformations from coaches or whatever, it's because we evolve the process. We tailor it slowly to you as an individual. Like, that is why coaching is so successful. So if you can learn to do that skill yourself, obviously then you bypass the need for coaching, But anyway, you need to track, measure, reevaluate. Then the most important thing is actually schedule this. So like we've identified our habits of success, we need to actually schedule those habits. There's no point going, I'm going to meal prep. That's a habit of success. Well, when? I'll get it done sometime. You have to go, okay, look, I prefer a Sunday meal prep. That's when I'm going to do it. Like, personally, I like to do it in the mornings, like every morning, and it really helps me kind of get my head mentally in the day, and I'm going, okay, this is what I have to do, and I'm kind of preparing my day while I'm cooking my food. Cooking food only takes 15, 30 minutes, so you're going, okay, getting other things done while you are cooking your food, planning out your day. That's what I like to do. But for you, maybe it's something else. Maybe, again, scheduling it. When are you doing your workouts? You already have a 10-hour work day. Are we doing it on your break? Are we getting a half-hour workout in? Like, what's the story there? You need to actually schedule and see where you can fit things in and what you can prioritize and execute. So if you go, look, I have all these things that I have to get done. I have to get them done for work, for family, for college, whatever. When am I working out around that? Like, people always go, like, I've been off the entire summer, and obviously business and everything is booming, but I've had like kind of a free run of myself. If I go, I got up late this morning, 4 a.m. or something, and I'm going, I'm gonna push my workout out. Like, if I have a job that starts at 9 a.m., I can't do that. That's my fault. I've missed my opportunity to go to the gym then, or I've missed my opportunity to do the thing, read for the hour that I do in the morning. So you have to be able to be realistic with your time. Like, that's all we have. Everyone still has the same amount of 24 hours in a day, but how you use those 24 hours is what's most important. So we have all those things. I'm going to put a picture of this up here now. So in terms of my goals, what I'm currently doing is I've just transitioned out of a diet, so we're into a gaining phase. I did a bit of a maintenance phase for kind of 2 weeks, So I know roughly, well, see, I've changed it all now because I'm back in college, cycling to and from college, so it's a few extra calories. But maintenance, I was kind of maintaining around 4,000 calories. I brought it up straight away to 3,750, which is what I thought my maintenance was. But after the initial kind of bump of a kilo of like glycogen or whatever, water, I kind of was maintaining. I wasn't maintaining and I kept losing weight. I would still have a few low weigh-ins with the 3,750, so brought that up to 4,000, and I'm kind of maintaining weight with that now. So we'll see how it changes over the coming weeks. We may have to adjust that again. But anyway, what I want to do is gain muscle while also improving my fitness. Now, I'm not going to get into my actual plan of action because we'll kind of discuss that, and this video is already getting quite long. We'll kind of discuss that in the coming weeks, and when we get through like my training plan and what I'm kind of doing with that, and I'll discuss it as we kind of go through like the vlog in general. But overall goal for the next 24 weeks or so brings me right up to kind of March time, roughly, when I want to start losing some body fat. I may do one or two, little mini cuts along the way if I notice body fat is getting a bit too out of hand. But overall, I want to gain muscle, 24 weeks of that, and I want to keep my rate of gain less than 1 kilo per month. Okay, and then what's going to facilitate the gain in lean muscle, hopefully, is increasing my strength. Because like generally or genuinely, I actually enjoy the process of training. For me, it's not about the outcome. Although, yeah, okay, I want to look a little bit bigger. I want to grow some more muscle. I want to, practice what I preach. Realistically, for me, I just like training. I like having these little mini goals that keep training interesting, kind of keeps my brain interested in it, going, okay, so how can I achieve that thing versus that? Or if it's like, oh, how can I build this muscle? What angle is this doing? I like that process. So for me, setting these kind of mini goals really helps the whole process. So right now, I'm kind of working off three-ish kind of goals. Obviously, I have little mini goals within that as well. But what I want to do over the next 24 weeks or so is add over, hopefully, 25 kilos to my front squat. So that's ambitious enough. What's even more ambitious is I want to add 25 kilos to my chin up and 25 kilos to my dip. But in that, I'm also taking into account that I haven't been doing chin ups and I haven't been doing dips in a strength focused manner. So I'm expecting a little bit of an initial bump with that. Now, I might increase more, I might increase less. This is where the reevaluate part comes into it. Like I might notice whatever way I have my training program set up, whatever way, my recovery is, whatever way everything's fallen into place, these might shoot up. They might not at all. This is something that's so important when you set goals. You can only control what you have control of. I have no control over how strong I get. I have no control over how my body composition changes. What I do have control over is going to the gym. What I do have control over is controlling what I eat. So that's what you focus on. These goals here, they're endpoints. Okay? So again, you focus on those habits of success. What's going to get you to achieve these things? So yeah, having those goals going, yeah, I want to add 25 kilos to my front squat, 25 to this, 25 to that. It's meaningless unless you actually put in the work. You prioritize and execute. Okay, so my priority, these 3 lifts, I'm going to execute by going to the gym, doing those 3 lifts, and then also, eating to recover. So that's what the goal is currently, 24 weeks of that. We also want to improve, or I want to improve my fitness over this. And I know for me, having a resting heart rate of sub 45, that's when I feel at my fittest. Currently, my resting heart rate, I think that this morning's measurement was like 51. So we're not too far off that, but I want to get a good bit fitter. Going from like 50 to 45 is actually a bit of a jump. You have to push, And I also want to get my heart rate variability, which is something that I've been playing with the last while, up above 85. Right now it's kind of at the 79-ish kind of place, and I want to bring that up a little bit. So I'm going to have to really be focusing on recovery, bringing in different recovery modalities. Getting fitter as well also helps that. We'll see how the change in calories, maybe an accumulation of a bit of body fat, also changes that. So overall, they're my goals. So it doesn't have to be hugely complicated. And people kind of think that they have to have either these really vague goals, so they can be happy achieving nothing, but they can also be kind of disappointed because they didn't actually achieve anything. But then people also think they have to have these hyper-focused, everything's broken down. This is what I have to gain per week, and this is what that's not what we want either. We want to have a plan, a blueprint. We don't want to have the exact specifications, So a blueprint, you can be changed. You go, okay, look, yeah, we need to change this. That door doesn't actually fit there. The sun comes up this, we're going to change that. Okay, if you're going, no, we've already laid the foundations and, we can't change anything. Okay, you're going to be destined to failure, So you want to make a plan of action, but you want to make an adjustable plan of action. So they are my goals. And what I want you to do, guys, is keep me accountable to them. So I want you, like currently this morning you saw I squatted whatever it was, 115 for 5 on front squats. Like I want to be getting that up kind of the 140 to 150 for 5. So 24 weeks to get that done, guys. Stranger things have happened. We will get it done. Anyway, if you like the video, comment, subscribe, like the video, do all that stuff. If you have any questions, just pop them down below. Anyway, I am absolutely knackered after that first day of college, and I will see you again later in the week because I have a good few vlogs planned out. We'll see how they get into action, and I want to kind of show you over this whole semester how I'm dealing with college, how I hope to, also achieve my goals there, but also run a business and get the fitness thing, because there's a few things that I can already see, when I'm looking at this. I'm already going to see there's going to be a few hard points. Like a Friday, I know there's essentially like 5 hours where I'm continuous lectures or labs. That's going to be hard to get food in, so stuff like that, which I think you guys will appreciate, seeing how I do it. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you might not be in the same exact situation as me, but you are in a job where you just can't eat on the job. If someone's telling you to be eating every 3 hours, it's just not going to happen. So we'll see how that goes. We'll bring you along for the journey either way. So again, if you like the video, comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff.